the two words shouldn't be in the same sentence. Long-term strategy and Manchester United, because I can't see any of that. You can usually join the dots and see, oh yeah, they're planning this, they've let that player go, this is the next player in, there's the youngster ready to come into that role if nobody else comes along. Like I said earlier, I think you go into that job, Eric Ten Hag, there was loads of positivity around Manchester United going into the pre-season. Some of the goals we were scoring, you're thinking, oh, that looks like a good goal, team goal, 1 and 2 touch football. There's a lot of positive messages coming out of the club. The first thing you needed to do was sort out Cristiano Ronaldo. Get that dealt with, because the longer that drags on, the less time you have in the transfer market to get somebody else in. And that's what's happened, and that's where we're at now with Arnautovic. I'm not saying Arnautovic is a bad player, thought he did well at West Ham, but he is a problematic player at times, and he can cause a lot of friction in the changing rooms.
Well, ironically, Rabiot's further down the pecking order at Juventus now because of the arrival of Pogba. Rooney said over the weekend, maybe time for Ronaldo to move on out of Manchester United. Souness surprised me yesterday by saying, nah, a player like that they want to keep.
Of course you want to keep him, but how long is it going to drag on? And how divisive is Cristiano Ronaldo? Listen, all the lads look up to him. Never mind the young lads. All the lads at that football club look up to him. So if he's being divisive and putting the lads against Ten Hag or putting the lads against whatever in the changing room, it's going to affect the performance. It's going to affect the ambience of that changing room. Everything that Eric Ten Hag is trying to build at that football club, he can just ruin. So I would have got rid of him. If you know that he doesn't want to be there, let him go. And then you can do your business. I think with Martial getting injured, that's one thing you can't legislate for that. Yeah. But he is injured. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to play Christian
Get Martial out of the way.
Well, you're going to play Christian Eriksen.
They're not doing anything.
No, you need to sign a centre forward.
They're not doing anything other clubs aren't doing at the moment.
I don't understand why people like Tammy Abraham aren't forming part of conversations for people.
But why is Christian Eriksen playing a false 9? Why are you not putting Rashford up top and stretching the opposition? Because Brighton, they must have seen that starting lineup and thought, we are pressing the life out of Manchester United at Old Trafford.
Maybe the manager's seeing them in training and they're not doing what you think they can do.
But he played anyway.
But this long-term strategy for transfers is nonsense. Depends what the club is for. If the club is for to build players and sell them on and make money out of it, you buy players and you sell players. If you're buying players to win football matches, you buy the best in class. Was there a long-term strategy behind buying Robin van Persie then? Or buying Teddy Sheringham? Or bringing other players in that Man United brought in?
But they're not the kind of names that Manchester United are buying.
But hang on. But we're talking about long-term strategy and the idea of what a long-term strategy looks like and what transfer strategy is. The transfer strategy is to buy the best in class and fit them in a team and make sure the team wins in the here and now. And then you can build from underneath that. Now, the bottom line is United aren't able to compete at the top table anymore because the performance of the team is not generating the outcomes. So then you go around in this ever-decreasing circle of a race to the bottom where you're competing against sides to buy a player when that player is more likely to want to go to sides that are competing in the Champions League and winning and not in the current situation at Man United.
Don't forget Man United. What would Tammy Abraham cost?
Well, Tammy Abraham...
The Glazers won't fund that.
80 million.
Well, Tammy Abraham is on a £64 million release clause from Roma. Now, that release clause doesn't kick in for Chelsea until after season 2, but it doesn't mean it doesn't kick in for someone else. So Chelsea have a buyback at 68 million, I think. I think it's either euros or pounds, I'm not sure. It's one of the two, but it's in and around that, right? So it's a £60 million purchase for Chelsea if they want to buy him back. Both of these sides need a centre forward. Tammy Abraham scored 17, 18 goals last year. I'm not sure why he's not in the conversation for Manchester United or Chelsea or sides that clearly have a need for a certain type of player, because I don't think Raheem Sterling's going to be the answer for Chelsea from a focal point. But United in the long... And the conversation starts with a transfer policy. And these clubs... What's happening with Man City is they are buying the best players and making them better with the coach that they've got. And that's United's job. United, when they brought Bruno Fernandes, their job was to make him better and to keep him developing and to keep players around him getting better, to develop Scott McTominay, to get these players that have come through the youth system to progress. What they go is into this stale, stagnant, wrong-thinking environment. And the problem is with Man United is because they're such a unique football club, they are micromanaged. They finished 6th last year. Right? It wasn't a grotesque failing. They weren't anywhere near getting relegated.
You still think they're unique?
I think they're the most unique football club in the world, probably. But they're unique at this moment in time because even in the 70s, when they were a poor side that only won the FA Cup in 1977 and did bugger all else for 15 years, they were still the focal point and they were still the first ones out of the gate in the Premier League started when the real money came to be at the front of the queue for being the poster boys.
They're going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And the rabbit isn't Arnautovic and the rabbit's not Rabiot, is he?
Well... I mean, Arnautovic is a good player. When people say, "Oh, he's 33 years of age," so was Ibrahimovic, and he came in and scored 20 odd goals. What is a long-term strategy?
But Simon, your example's a good one. The thinking should be the likes of Tammy Abraham.
Yes, it should. It should be part of the thinking. But to discount people because you simply... Eric Cantona, was he part of a long-term strategy? No, he wasn't.
Just going back on something you said there. You said Manchester United finishing sixth. It wasn't a growth. They've got the highest wage bill.
Oh, I know that.
Why finishing sixth? Is that,
but it's not grotesque. It's a failure.
I think that's a huge failure.
It's a failure. I mean, I'm not sure they've got the highest wage bill.
202 million.
No, they've got more than that. It's 300 million plus.
Well,
but the bottom line is that Chelsea are on 300 million. United, they're all in around the 300 million price bracket. So you're in the ballpark of there being either at the top of the tree or certainly in and around it.
So United fans going to have to get used to names like Arnautovic. No disrespect to him.
What if the manager bleeding wants him? Yeah. Isn't that what we're talking about? Isn't the manager coming through the door? I mean, I heard some ridiculous ideas yesterday.
Well, he wanted the boy Anthony,
I heard somebody on Sky Pundits
Anthony
talking about have we had many successful Dutch imports in this country? Have you banged your head? What, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Ruud Hillet, Mark Overmars, Robin van Persie. We can go on and go on. Because this guy's buying Dutch players, someone was saying the other day, well, you know what, the Dutch league isn't that good, and where we had so many successful Dutch imports. I can list them off. They're as long as our arm, Dutch players that have played in this league that have been successful. And if he wants to bring in... we've gone off
Who
piece.
said that, incidentally? It wasn't Susan.
It was Neville that said it.
All right.
But the bottom line is that, and if I mention Neville, everyone thinks I've got a weird obsession with the fact that I critique what someone of influence says.
Which, of course, you don't.
Well, no, I don't. He's a leading voice, and he's given a lot of airtime, so it comes our way, doesn't it? But the bottom line is, if you look at Arnautovic and the manager wants him, what is wrong with people? If the manager of Wolves wants to let Conor Cody go, do the fans in the stadium know better than the manager that's working with every single day? If the guy at Man United, Ten Hag, wants to buy Arnautovic, is he your manager or isn't he?
Yeah, but the fans have a right to say what they think.
Yes, but do you really? Then you don't back the manager then. The manager shouldn't be there, and on that basis, what are you doing, giving him the right time of day? The manager, or is it the Glazers? The Glazers sat in Tampa going, I know, let me pull my finger up my backside, put it up in the air and say I want an Arnautovic. I mean, it's just ridiculous, some of the arguments that get advanced.
But I think they've put themselves in this situation by not dealing with the Cristiano Ronaldo situation quicker.
Well, that's the manager's responsibility, not the owner's.
What an image that was of one of the Glazers. Oh, I'm not even going to think about it. It's 11 o'clock.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.